I use, starting off on the bottom here. This is Dave Valdez's pattern, I believe, the gentleman in the back there, the green shirt, House Phenomenal Flies. Anyhow, when your pelagics first come up into our US waters, you always hear complaints about the guys can never catch them because they throw in sardines, etc. Well, when these fish first move up, they feed on the small little micro baits, and those would be little anchovies, little mackerels. So if you're out there and you have that problem, throw on a small bait, a small fly. These are only about 2 inches long. Unfortunately, you have to downsize your tippet, but again, you don't really have to worry about the fish going anywhere. It's an open ocean. Going further up the rod, you've got your mackerel patterns, which are always present on your kelp patties, your sardines. The black and white is a great color for your albacore. They're around. And of course, you've got some big poppers here, the mako fly, and all your other flies that are good for offshore. A lot of time to locate these fish. Obviously, you're going to be looking for birds, porpoise. Get in front of the porpoise, drop your fly, shut the engines down. If you do happen to have any conventional gear, you can trawl your feathers. Normally when you first get bit, shut the engines down, slide your fly line back, and hopefully those fish are still on the surface and you may come tight to them. You can take chum out as well, and sometimes if you like, this is what you're going to be looking for on the kelp patties. Kelp patties can range from anything, a trash can lid size to the size of this room. They're kind of like a little oasis out there. They attract all the bait fish, and in turn, that pulls your bigger fish in. When you approach a kelp patty, it's best to ease up on it. Don't just race up to it and throw your fly straight over the top of it. Moving real slowly. Always fish the windward side of it first. If there is any wind, like on this particular day, your yellowtail that are underneath those patties, their heads are going to be poking out that side. Typically, they don't hang around on the lee side of the kelp patty. So when you pull up, throw on the windward side of the kelp patties. Your dorados, they're going to be swimming around your kelp patties. And further out, typically your yellowfin. So, when you first pull up to a patty, take a couple of casts. Don't be discouraged straight away if you don't get anything. Drift off a little bit. Keep on throwing, maybe sink your fly down a little deeper, let it sit a little deeper, and maybe you'll get some yellowfin. This is a good example of a kelp patty. There's a side that you want to start. We pulled up to this kelp patty and just gave it a minute to let the engines shut off. We eventually pulled around this side and got a couple of fish. This is a dorado taken about 10 miles off Dana Point on a yak hair sardine pattern. This particular fish right here, I got off a patty that was probably the size of the room. There was about 50 boats around it. That's the way we found it after running the whole day and finding nothing. And pulled up to it, and they liked the flies rather than the live sardines, so we got pretty lucky. This yellowfin was caught off Camp Pendleton area, Oceanside, which is in the background there. We're about 10 mile offshore. We got this in front of some porpoise. Larry dropped his popper. We got in front of the porpoise, shut the engines off. Larry threw out his popper, started chugging it. This fish was about 25 pounds. Good yellowfin. Well, those porpoise are always looking for bait fish, and what happens is those porpoise come underneath the bait fish, push up the bait fish, and right behind them are the tuna. So, when you're fishing the porpoise, it's always good to fish the flanks of the porpoise. Don't fish behind because there's nothing there. Fish the flanks of the porpoise or get in front of them, shut your engines down, cast or chum, and you'll get lucky. This is a hen dorado, if you notice the shape of the head. A little different than a bull dorado. He's got that short stubby head. This is off a kelp patty again. We're fishing 35 miles out here. So, in the summer months, early in the morning, you get those beautiful grease calm conditions. And a way to find those kelp patties, there's a few ways. Obviously, you can visually find them. If it's tough to find kelp patties out there, look for the current lines. You'll get these current lines way out in the ocean. 9 out of 10 times, your kelp patties are going to be moving around with the current out there. The other time is if you're running along and you're seeing little pieces of kelp. There's going to be a big piece around somewhere, so keep your eye open. And, you know, normally on the boat, it's everyone's job to look for the kelp patties. It's just not the captain because we can't see everything. This is a yellowtail island kelp patty. This was caught on, I remember, over a weekend. And I caught it on one of those squid flies. Normally on the weekends, you got all your weekend warriors out there pounding the kelp patties with iron and live sardines, and eventually those fish just become lockjaws. They won't take anything. So the squid patterns I throw on the patties on the weekends if I'm out there. I don't know if you can see it, but right there's a little bead. Thread my line through the squid, thread a little bead on, tie an octopus hook on, and what that does is when you strip that fly, that hook comes back and bounces on that bead. And I've done it for years now, and it works pretty good. Every now and again I get lucky with a nice yellowtail. A little tip right there. And that's it, everyone. Tight lines, sharp hooks.